Hello and welcome. Today is Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. My name is Sarah McLean, and I am sitting here in my office at home in Santa Barbara while a whole group of meditation teachers are sitting in our meditation studio here in Santa Barbara because I couldn't figure out how to hook us together, but they're in the middle of a yoga class followed by a silent meditation. While you're here, and we're going to be talking a little bit today about compassion, self-compassion, compassion for others, and how it is essential right now to be compassionate, especially with yourself. Now, you've probably all heard of loving kindness meditation. You've probably all heard of compassion practices. You probably even heard that the Dalai Lama says, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Compassion. What is it and how does it feel? What is it? And so today we're going to have the direct experience of compassion. I do believe that this time in our lives as a collective global humanity, compassion is essential. And, you might have heard about empathy, and is empathy the same thing as compassion? And I just want to distinguish that for you, because I know some people, especially in the helping businesses, talk a lot about their compassion fatigue. And it's really a misnomer. And I'm going to tell you why. So what is empathy? When someone's empathetic, what does that mean? It means they are fully aware of other people's experience and they're able to easily take their perspective on. They're easily able to feel perhaps or see the world in which that others are experiencing it. And it requires mindfulness. It requires you to be mindful. It requires you to be alert in the present moment. And I know all of you are that. So empathy really means to be aware and to take another's perspective. But what is compassion and how does that differ from empathy? So compassion means to take action. Once you spot someone suffering, once you spot someone having a challenging time, once you see someone really having some sadness or some grief, compassion is love in action. Compassion is love in action. You move toward that person. You work to alleviate the suffering itself. So it's not enough to see the suffering. It's the compassion that really moves us to alleviate it. And it's compassion that actually is what makes empathy easy to bear. It's really empathy fatigue rather than compassion fatigue that many of us deal with. I mean, so many of us have seen suffering these days, people losing their jobs, or all the homeless people that are around, or the physical suffering people are dealing with, and the emotional and mental turmoil people are having to deal with. And empathy is really understanding that and really having your heart go out to them. But if you cannot take action to alleviate the suffering, that is where the fatigue comes in. So compassion is moving toward it, even saying, how are you today? Can I help you? Do you want to go for a walk, or sending a card to someone that is suffering or having a challenging time? It's moving toward. Compassion means to suffer with, to move toward. And empathy, though, is really looking and seeing it. And that's why if you watch TV and you see these commercials for animals suffering in rescue centers or being abandoned, it's really heartbreaking. That's the empathy. And then they show you how you can help, because they know you want to after that. And that's where you can be compassionate. Although whether you believe that's helpful or not, that's up to you. But that's an example of how compassion works. Compassion is really up to you, though. You get to decide what the most compassionate action is. And for some of us, it's not a one size fits all. Sometimes the compassionate act is not to do anything, but to know that's your choice. Sometimes it is to do something and to know that's your choice. There's no one size fits all with compassionate actions. But many of us these days are being called to be more compassionate, to be a better listener, to give someone your attention. After all, as we've talked about before, your attention is love. Your gentle, non-judgmental attention is love. And sometimes that's all you need to do is smile at someone or say hello or listen to what's going on for them. And that is compassion, and that's love in action. So today we're going to be practicing the loving kindness practice. It also has another name for it called Metta Bhavana. Metta means loving kindness, and Bhavana means mood or adopting an attitude of. So we're going to be talking a little bit about it, and you can sit right here and be compassionate just by bringing your attention to someone who's suffering. Now we know that, and you've probably heard me talk a little bit about how your attention has an effect on what you pay attention to, whether it's across the miles or in the same room. And so recognizing that, sometimes we feel that this is not maybe a potent or powerful meditation, but we know that when you pay attention to something, it changes, it thrives, especially when you use a loving, kind attention. So that's the kind of attention we're going to use today. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits of the practice of practicing kindness. Besides the obvious, it makes you feel better and it makes the other person feel better. But there was a study that found that this loving kindness practice helps to reduce self-criticism, increases self-compassion, so you treat yourself as a good friend, which is always good for your immune system. It decreases chronic pain and lower back pain and headaches, migraines. It even slows the markers of aging, reduces depression, and it even reduces anxiety. So the loving compassion can, in this case, we're going to practice it, and I'll tell you how before we get started. It can really help you to be compassionate towards others and have that same equanimity towards ourselves. Sometimes we think, well, this person deserves it, but this person doesn't. But what we do know about compassion is that it really requires present moment awareness and understanding our common humanity, that each one of us wants to be happy, even if we have funny ways about going about it. Each one of us wants to thrive, even though we may have unusual ways of going about that too. But really understanding our common humanity and practicing equanimity, not just saying, well, this person deserves it, but this person doesn't. It always reminds me of a poem. I think it's Hafiz who said, "The sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky." And when I think about that, your love is like that. It can light up the whole sky, not just part of the sky, not just the people that need it, but everyone. And so this is a practice of developing that equanimity, that ability to be shiny and beam your loving kindness to whoever is in your awareness. So as you know, we get comfortable in our practice, and I'll give you a few pointers before we close our eyes. So, I may be saying something that doesn't resonate for you. I just want you to do what's comfortable for you. We're going to have our eyes closed, but if you want to open them and look around, that's fine. If you want to do a completely different meditation, that's also fine. During this meditation, there are a number of ways to do this, and I have my own version. We will be bringing our attention to ourselves, to people that are challenging for us, and there are plenty of those, I'm sure, in your life. People that we don't know, that we may just come across on a regular basis and don't even know their name. We will also bring it to our family, and if we can, we'll shine our love beam around the world. Now, you don't have to feel anything in particular. I know when I first started doing this, I'm kind of numb. I started this about 30 years ago, and I didn't have a lot of emotional intelligence. So I didn't really feel anything. But I can restore as you're driving in traffic, as you meet someone and have a challenge with them. It really does help you to navigate the world more peacefully. Okay, so we're going to be cultivating kindness for a variety of beings, and it could include your pets, the planet, the trees, the ecosystems. And we're going to use a specific phrase. You may already know some of these phrases. I'm going to use a few of them myself, but you can choose something that feels right for you in your own words. But mine would be, may you be peaceful, may you be happy, and may you be free from suffering of all kinds, mental, physical, emotional, whatever suffering. So may you be peaceful, may you be happy, and may you be free from suffering. Now you might use other phrases like, may you be peaceful and at ease. May you be free of pain and sorrow. May you experience health and vitality. So it doesn't matter what phrases you use, it works because you're like the sun shining on anyone, but your particular desires are what's going to be helpful. Don't use the words that don't fit for you. During this practice, it's important that you don't force a feeling, that it's okay if you get off track and get into some storyline, but once you realize you're doing that, come on back again and again and again. We're going to be using the powers of visualization. Some people can't do that, so it's okay. You can imagine, just get a sense of things. Sit comfortably and don't try too hard. Be kind to yourself throughout the whole practice, and let's stay with it. And we'll be practicing now for about maybe 20 minutes or so. So let's get comfy. Let's get comfortable, cozy, find that spot where you feel supported, where you are. Relaxing your body, feeling that support of your chair or your cushion or your bed or wherever you might be. And you can close your eyes or gaze downward toward the floor. And let's begin with some long, slow, deep breaths through the nose. Inhaling slowly at your own pace through the nostrils. Visualizing, expanding your body all the way with the inhale, and then exhaling through the nose. Pulling that navel towards the spine. And continuing to do that for 3 breaths, in and out, fully and slowly. And now, allow your breath to be natural. Throughout this practice, you'll be breathing naturally, ideally through your nose. Your breath might slow down or speed up. However it is, let it be. As you sit here comfortably, you might adjust your posture just a little bit. And become aware of the sounds around you. Welcoming every sound you hear. Practicing equanimity with sounds. Staying out of the judgment, staying out of the evaluation, receiving each sound. Now bring your attention to your body. Feeling your body as a whole as you sit here. Noticing where you might begin or end. Noticing the aliveness what's right here. And invite some softness to your face, your neck, your shoulders and arms, your hands as they gently rest in your lap on the arms of the chair. Invite some softness into your back and spine. Into your chest and belly. Into your pelvis, your rear, your genitals. Into your thighs. Into your lower legs. Sensing that groundedness underneath your feet. Rounded and soft. And sense your breath now as it moves in and out of your body. You might even imagine the breath moving in and out of your heart center, as if there's a doorway to your heart through the breath. As we go through this practice, it might feel natural to place your hand on your chest at any time. So feel free to do that and then let it rest on your lap at any time. Now bring into your awareness someone who has a deep love for you. Could even be a pet or someone who has passed, or even a spiritual being. Relax into that sense of being loved, being cared for, being nourished. And now bring your attention to someone that you truly love, truly care about. Get a feel for their presence. Visualize them or imagine them and even silently saying their name. experiencing the love that you have for them, where you might feel it in your body, in your mind, in your heart. Silently, you can offer them the phrase of loving kindness. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be free from all suffering. Whatever phrase you prefer, repeating the phrase silently. And imagine that this loved one is benefiting wherever they are from your blessing, from your love, your kindness. Notice how you feel, even if you don't feel much at all. Simply stay with the practice. And now bring your attention back to your heart space, letting the awareness of that being go, and turning your attention to yourself. And with the same sincerity, the same care, offer that phrase of compassion to yourself. May I be peaceful. May I be happy. May I be free from all suffering. Or whatever phrase you like to use. Whatever you feel is perfect. Continue your practice. Feel whatever comes up. Invite softness into your body. Invite loving kindness into your body. You might even direct that phrase to your body. Now, identify a neutral person, someone you might see at the grocery store or in your building, or a neighbor, someone at work, or someone who you've just met. Even if you don't know their name, get a sense of them doing what they do. and offer them the same phrase or blessing of loving kindness. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. And may you be free from all suffering. Imagine that your compassionate blessing has a direct effect on them, lightening their load, somehow clearing the way for happiness and peace, even if it's just for a moment. And now, identify someone or some being that you believe is suffering or in need. Could even be someone you read about, someone who's dealing with a man-made disaster or someone dealing with a tragedy, even if you don't know them personally. Offering them the same phrases of compassion. Continuing to breathe naturally, inviting softness into your body. May you be peaceful, may you be happy, may you be free from suffering. Letting the awareness of them go, inviting softness to your body, to your breath, to your face. Identify someone that you are having some difficulty with. Someone maybe over the past few days has made it difficult for you to feel peaceful. And imagine them as you get a feeling for their presence. Even if you don't know them well or if they've hurt you in the past, you can't fully know what they've been going through. You can offer them the phrases of compassion as you keep your attention right here in the present moment, intending to wish this person well. Notice how you feel as you stay right here. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be free from all suffering. Continuing to breathe. Let the awareness of them fade from your mind and heart, and bring your attention back to yourself, back to your heart space. Scanning your whole body to be sure it's soft. Now expand your awareness to include all beings in your immediate environment. Could be those of us on Zoom with you. Those in the next room or the next apartment or the next home. You might even include the animals and plants that live right there, right next to you. Wishing them the same compassionate phrase, blessing. Continuing to radiate your awareness and your blessings to people even further away or people that you love in your family that live in another state or province or country. And for the next few minutes, simply offering this blessing to anyone who shows up in the screen of your awareness. I'll keep track of the time. Now bring your attention back to yourself, back to your heart space, back to your body, back to your life. And just as you wished all beings to be well and free from suffering and peaceful, once again offer it to yourself. May I also be peaceful. May I also be happy. May I also be free from suffering. I'll sound the bell now to invite you to simply be here now. Keeping your eyes closed just for a few more moments. Noticing how you feel, you might deepen your breath. Maybe stretch into the space around you. You might begin to open your eyes at your own pace. You can softly gaze downward. When you want to open your eyes all the way, go ahead and do that, but take your time. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for practicing with me. May all beings in all worlds, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the human race, be peaceful and happy and free from suffering. That's my prayer, and thank you for praying to create more peace on this planet. Even if you don't think anything has changed in someone else, I can tell you in my experience that doing this practice with the difficult ones in my life has changed a relationship. I don't know if it's me who's changed or they've changed, but I do know that the relationship is much more harmonious and a little easier to navigate. And so this practice, even though it may not feel like it's working or it's just wishful thinking, whatever you put your attention on grows. You know, you energize whatever it may be, whether you're energizing peace or energizing strife. So there's so much that it benefits here. They've just been doing so many research studies on it, and it's increases our social connection. I feel closer to you and pretty much everyone I meet, and no one's a stranger when I practice this regularly. Also, it can increase the bliss as indicated in your gamma brainwaves, those sort of peak experience brainwaves. They start to increase, and they also make you much more responsive rather than reactive. And this can help you to become less inflamed overall, emotionally and physically. And it also alleviates that emotional tension because you have this ground state of compassion that you cultivate. So thank you for joining me. I invite you to put your comments in the chat, and I am going to stop recording now.